All right, Lee.
Yeah.
So this is we talked a little bit about this offline. It's football related, but then it's not football related, right? But it just goes. So anyway, I was listening to Ryan Clark's podcast, and everybody knows Travis Hunter got married, a couple of days ago, and this is big news, right? And I've always been okay. Disclaimer: I do not know the girl, don't know her, nothing. I'm just going off of what I see in the media and what's going on. So that's the disclaimer with this. This is just my opinion, and I'm just going off of what I see. I could be totally wrong. So let me start there. So anyway, I was listening to Ryan Clark's podcast. I did not know this. And they were talking and having a conversation, and then Ryan Clark says, "Hey man, I don't know if you guys heard this, but at the wedding, the best man was talking, how the best man always does their talk, and the best man was talking, and he said in front of everybody, I don't know if you guys think this is like a love story or something like that, but when they was getting started, Travis and the girl, when they was getting started, you know, we were still, and I was like, no way, this can't be true. This cannot be true because I mean, how as a best man, how do you even say that? And then I so what really what I felt when I heard that was that Travis has a really low self-esteem because for him to latch on to this girl, right? And just put the blinders on. There's signs and things that are happening throughout the time when y'all even started dating. Now to this, and you talking about the best man saying this at the wedding in front of everybody. I mean, I feel for him, man. I feel for Travis Hunter because he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, we started to talk about, we debated whether we were going to even broach this as a topic for this
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
podcast, right? Because I mean, it's football, but not really football, but
Right. Right.
it's a topic of interest.
Yeah.
How do I even begin to start on this? Like you and I mean, we've both seen, like even in our circle, like weird relationships, weird types of
Yeah.
relationships
Yeah.
that take place that start.
Right.
They potentially, it could smooth itself out and kind of normalize, right? I think the more salacious part of all of this is the fact that the best man said that out in the open. Like the need for him to have to say that out loud, for a public hearing to take note, like that. I think that's really what was uncalled for.
Right,
I
man.
don't know I don't know the girl. Don't really know Travis, of course, right?
Right.
We don't know these people. We
Don't
see
know.
them on TV, but
Right.
Travis seems like a really good dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately, on the young lady's side, she seems like she's been categorized and typecasted as a gold digger.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
no uncertain terms, that's what people are calling her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go ahead and say that that's what she is. I don't know,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Travis is really, I mean, he's committed to her. They had this big wedding, gave her, I think it was a G-Wagon or something like that
Yep. Yep.
as a gift.
Yep.
$500,000. Wait, no, how much was the ring? The
It,
ring was
it was
a
six
lot,
figures. Yeah, it
six
was a
figures,
lot.
right?
It was in that
You
range. Yeah.
know, it seems over the top,
Yeah. Yeah.
unnecessary. You got a guy didn't really come from money who now has money, and I think from what I'm seeing, he's expressing his love in the only way he knows how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably because he was never really taught how to
Yeah.
properly express his love. I'm pretty sure he definitely loves this girl,
Right. Right. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the way he's expressing it, I think from the outside, it looks as if it is, more materialistic, more surface than it probably really is.
Yeah.
Um, And then on her side, again, not knowing who she is, she was outward about the fact that she was not really interested in him in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Travis was the one who pursued her, and he continued to pursue her.
Yeah.
I think there was a story about how he used to drop her off at parties and other, meet up with other guys, probably hooking up with her, and he would just be sitting in the car waiting
Ain't
for
no
her.
way. Ain't no way. Yeah.
That's his choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't blame the girl for that,
No, you can't
right?
blame. Yeah.
You got this guy, and he's probably hovering. She's telling him,
Yeah.
I'm not that into you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear you down." Basically, is the approach that he took.
Yeah.
And he ended up wearing her down, of course, and that now they're getting married. I can't blame her. I really can't blame her. It's not as if, see, a gold digger to me is when you got a girl who is targeting,
Right. Right.
like she's outwardly targeting him
Yeah.
and doing things to manipulate him and coerce him to get his attention on
Right.
her.
Right.
She didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, based on the articles and when you looking at the documentation up until this point, he pursued her,
Yeah.
not the other way around. So you
That's
really
true.
can't call her a gold digger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's just showering her with gifts.
Yeah.
And I think any sane young lady at some point would be like, you know what?
Hey.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, this guy, he can take care of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't blame him for that.
Yeah.
It's
I
all
mean,
on him. Looking at his, his background, his family structure, his dad had all these issues with, the law. I think his dad is currently in prison. They gave him a pass to go see the draft, and he's back. So I can't account for the type of role model he's had, but I know no father would want his son to act in this way when he's pursuing a woman of interest, because that's not the way you go about it, even if you have the money.
that's right. That's right. That's
Right?
right. Yeah.
So, I want to be very tactful about this,
Yeah.
because you got they're young. They're young, and you make mistakes. And not to say that this is a mistake. Okay, here's one.
Yeah.
Here's one, right? You have on the flip side, right? My boy, right?
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His wife went on her podcast and outwardly said that she was pursuing him.
Okay. Okay.
And in order to get his attention, or to make him get him serious,
Yeah.
she started messing around with the second string quarterback when he was at Georgia. Remember that?
Yeah.
She said this,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it gets Matthew. It gets his attention. He was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And basically, she was playing the game. Hey, if you're not going to give me the attention I want, I'm going to mess with this guy. And it worked, right?
Yeah.
So, that to me
Got
is
him.
more gold digging, because she had an objective and she used, right, I think, means that I would think is unbecoming, right, in order to get him. And he felt, look, and they're married, they got beautiful kids, and
Yeah.
their marriage is strong, so it ended up working out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, going back to Travis Hunter's wife, this woman, she didn't do anything like that. She was living her best life, doing what she
Yeah.
wanted to do. She was in college.
Yeah.
She's in college. Like, when you're in college, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You hang out, you party, you do whatever you want to do. You explore. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Travis decided that was the girl that he wanted to be with, and he was locked in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't blame her.
Yeah. I mean, this is all I gotta say,
Yeah.
on this one. If you start out with a G-Wagon, buddy, you only got to go up from here.
Got to go up.
You got to go up from
You
here.
got to go up.
So
Got to go up.
every anniversary,
You got to go up.
you got to keep going up, buddy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, you that's how you starting it off.
Mhm.
So I mean, look, for any guy, my wife, I'd do anything for her. If I had it, I probably would have got the G-Wagon too if she wanted it, right? I don't even know if she wanted it, but this guy, to me, is just he's head over heels. Hey, I wish them all the best.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know them. They are a young couple. Wish them all the best. But it's a lot of these signs that have been in the media. Don't know how true these are. Again, rumors. But if they are, boy, that boy in trouble.
Yeah.
That boy in trouble. If these are real, he is in trouble, man. And all I can do is say, hey, man, hey, it's a learning lesson. and you just move on from there. Just
You
keep playing
know,
football, bro.
he wants people out of his business. He said,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
rightfully so. It's his
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
business.
Yeah.
I think you had some people who really had his best interest at heart, trying to tell him, look, dude, like take a step back and think this through first before you make this commitment, which anyone should tell
Right.
him to do
Right.
that.
Right.
But the G-Wagon thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the presentation of it all,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it seems as if you're overcompensating for something.
It's over the top. Yeah.
It's over the top. It's
Really over.
not that you can't gift it to her,
Right.
but it didn't need to be in
Right.
that,
I mean,
so
yeah.
and again, he's young. He probably just doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
But to your point too, you have to go up from there. You
You
can't
gotta
go
go
back.
up, man. Yeah. You
Now
can't go back.
you've set the standard. That's the expectation.
Yep.
And now if you fall short from that, it's going to be like, well, what happened?
What's
Ask any
going
woman
on?
out there. You
Right.
can't go backwards,
You can't go
right?
back, buddy.
Once that man has set a standard for that woman in that relationship,
Yeah.
she will not tolerate anything less than that going forward.
He
That's
can't
it.
come next year and say, "Oh,
That's it.
honey, we just gonna chill this year, anniversary. We just gonna relax, Not gonna happen." So, anyway, man,
Yeah.
I just had to bring that up. I know it was not football related, but I had to bring that up, man, because that was just a hot topic. I had to, share
I
with
wish them the best, man. I wish him that because like he really seems like a good dude.
you. Yeah, yeah, he
I
does.
really wish him the best, man.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Wish him the best. Wish him the best. So, all right, so you had something, man. This is a podcast you was listening to. I think it was the podcast name with my guys. It is called The Exciting Mics. The Exciting Mics. Yeah.
You know what
Cooper.
is funny? I didn't even know it was a podcast. I saw the clip, but
Yeah.
it's funny that you know the podcast.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know the
yeah.
podcast, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so tee it up. Tee it up.
So,
Tee it up.
okay. So Philadelphia Eagles. Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship started this podcast called Exciting Mics. It actually came from them being called the Exciting Whites, because white guys really didn't play the position of a DB. And both of these guys are DBs. And really, they named it Exciting Mics, but it derived from,
It was
they
exciting.
have t-shirts and everything. It's called Exciting Whites.
Why
The
they change
Exciting
it?
Whites. Yeah.
Why'd they change it?
I don't know why they changed it. I mean,
You
I don't
think
know if
they thought it was getting a little bit too like people were getting offended because of it or something like that?
I think they might have I think they didn't want to step on any toes or, people.
Like
But
that though. I
I
like
was
it.
going to run with it, brother,
Like that.
because look, I have an Exciting Whites t-shirt in my cart right now that I'm about to press the button. I'm getting me an Exciting Whites t-shirt, man. I'm getting me one of those. So anyway, they were on the podcast, and Saquon Barkley was on the podcast, and Saquon, they were talking about the Eagles last season, and Saquon made mention that he believes that the Philadelphia Eagles team of 2024-2025 Super Bowl champions are in the top 5 all time in the NFL.
Why?
NFL team. Yes. What you mean? What?
As if you think that's actually a truthful statement.
This is debatable. This is
No,
very debatable.
very.
This is very debatable.
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. All right.
State your case.
Okay.
How is it
Check this out.
debatable?
Okay. When you look at how dominant this team was, okay, after the first part of the season, a little rocky there. Starting out a little rocky. But this team won 16 of 17 games in a row, all the way straight through to the Super Bowl, blowing out teams in the Super Bowl, dominating the two-time defending champs who were trying to go for 3 straight. I mean, just obliterating them, Okay, I will tell you this: after the Rams game, which was close, It was no competition. It was just like it was just like a cakewalk. Now I know you bring up you got these other teams, and we're gonna get into that because you know, but I think the way that they went through the season and after their bye, and they just obliterated. You talking about the number one offensive player in the league, Saquon Barkley. He could have easily broken Eric Dickerson's record, but you know, he could have easily broken that.
Right. Playing an extra game, right? That Eric
Come on now,
Dickerson
come
didn't.
come on,
What you
come
mean,
on.
come on? What you mean, come on?
But check this out. Check this out.
So you played, how many games he played? 17, right?
He played 17 games. Saquon, you got to remember this now. There was games leading up to this where Saquon was like, "Nah, let the young boys eat. I don't have to. You know, I already broke the single season record. Yeah, I don't need. Well, he was coming up to it, and he was like, "I don't need it. Let the young boys eat." If Saquon would have stayed in the game, I mean,
I'm not denying that he would have beaten the record, but what I'm saying is he would have needed an extra game to do it outside of what Eric Dickerson did.
I think he actually could have did this in the same amount of the same exact time as Eric Dickerson could have done this. And then, okay, now you got two of the top receivers. We didn't even really we utilized these guys, but we didn't really utilize them. I mean, this year is going to be when you see them really utilized because teams going to adjust now for Saquon. The way this defense, I mean, the way this defense was structured, Jalen Carter leading the way, and then you got you got Cooper DeJean in the slot, and then you had Quinyon Mitchell out there with Darius Slay on the other side. He's gone, but anyway, this defense was dominant, man. I think it was all time. I want to say they ended up in third place for lowest. I think it was lowest amount of points allowed in NFL history. I mean, so usually some of the teams. Okay, let's look at this. Usually some of the teams look at the Baltimore Ravens when they had Ray Lewis and they had all these guys.
Right.
No offense at all. Joe Flacco was just. I mean, it was just Joe Flacco was just. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Their defense carried them. It was just totally dominant. Okay, right. Their defense just obliterated everybody. Okay,
that defense better than the Eagles' defense.
They were okay. They were. No, listen. Check this out. So, check this out. All right, you look at. Don't compare the people. Because when you look at,
I'm talking about the units.
The units.
Yeah.
If you put the units together.
Yes.
Boy, the Eagles are right there, man.
With who? With
that Baltimore Ravens team. I'm telling you.
No.
I know. See, you thinking about individuals. You think about Ed.
No, I'm not thinking about individuals. I'm talking about
the whole unit.
You just talked about the Baltimore Ravens team carrying the entire team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer as their quarterback.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer was the quarterback. Yeah. Yeah.
This Eagles team would have been able to do that without Hurts, without Devontae Smith, without AJ, without Saquon. Eagles would have done that.
Okay, no. That's no. Okay. No. You got a point.
And let's not talk about the greatest defense of all time, the
85 Bears, man. The 85 Bears, they were dominant,
right? I don't think this Eagles team is better than even the Ronnie Lott led Niners defense.
Stop that, man. Stop that.
What you mean stop that?
Stop that, man.
What you mean stop that? And you know I don't like that team.
Look, now them dudes was dominant,
right? And let's not talk about the 70s Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Steel Curtain was.
What are we talking about here, Lynx?
Okay, check this out. Okay, let's do this. Let's lay out some of these teams here. Okay. Go. So you said 85 Bears. I'm not even gonna rank them because it's hard to rank. It's hard to rank. But in my era, in our era, what I was able to see, I literally watched the Bears.
Yeah.
Literally watched the Bears in '85. It's only like what 10 years old or 11 years old, 10 years old, something like that. But I literally watched the Bears. So yes, those dudes were. And then going back and looking at the '70s Steelers steel curtain. Yes, yeah. Just going back and looking at that, and then you got see the Baltimore Ravens. I'm holding that. I'm holding that. Let's just put them on the side there real quick. Then you got, I mean, you guys, the Rams, greatest show on turf.
Right. Right.
Kurt Warner,
Yeah.
Isaac
Marshall
Bruce,
Falk, Isaac,
yeah, Marshall
Isaac
Falk,
Bruce,
yeah, yeah,
Torrey
yeah,
Holt. Yeah.
yeah. They was legit,
Yeah.
legit. Okay, yeah, I could throw y'all in there. Then you could throw in that's what three. That's three.
Right.
Okay. Then you could throw in. You got to throw in the Patriots. You got to
Right.
throw in the Patriots. I mean, you just got to throw them in.
Patriots 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, you just got to
Right.
throw. You got to throw them. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just got to just throw the Patriots in as a whole, right? Throw them in.
91 Washington Redskins. They went 14-2. Right? They blew
Yeah,
everybody. They blew everyone out. Gary
Yeah.
Clark, Art Monk,
yeah,
Dexter Manley on the defensive side, Darryl Green,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ernest Biner. Right?
yeah. But I don't know if I could put them in there. I don't know if I could put them in there just yet. I don't know. Who was another dominant team who I really don't like, but they were dominant.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't even. I didn't even.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
But
they were legit. They were definitely legit. So when we talk about five,
Eagles.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Jeez.
The Eagles are in. I think this team would be in the top 10. I wouldn't say top 5 because it's a lot of teams out there. It's a lot of teams out there for sure. I think definitely deserve to be in the top 5, but they not too close. I think the Eagles somewhere around 7, 8, somewhere around there. This team, I think somewhere around 7,
8, 9.
8, 9. Okay,
8,
you're
9.
dropping us down.
8, 9.
I put us up a little bit more, but you got a lot of great teams out there, man, and I think Saquon was a little bit overzealous. Him saying that because he feel the hype, and this is the first team he's ever been on that really did anything. So
This dude came from the Giants, so of course, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he think, just winning the Super Bowl, he think they're the greatest of all time, right? Coming from where he came from, so I get it.
Yeah,
I get it, but no, bro, not top 5.
Check this out.
Yeah.
I really think this would have to be in order for them to move into a top 5 like that. And I'm a diehard Eagles fan. In order for them to move into a top 5, you got to be dominant over some years.
No, that ain't what we're talking about, though.
We're talking about just this.
We're not talking about dynasty. We're talking about you got to encapsulate it in that 1 year.
In that 1 year.
Because, mind you, all of those teams we just mentioned, we didn't even discuss the Kansas City Chiefs.
Didn't discuss Kansas City Chiefs, yeah.
And I wouldn't put the Kansas City Chiefs above any of those teams we're talking about.
No, and really, can you really call the Kansas City Chiefs in a year dominant?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some. I mean, when you look at especially like the first 2 Super Bowls, they had an impressive record.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you match them up unit for unit against those teams that we just no.
They don't. Because I wouldn't call them dominant. Is when you just going through and you obliterating people. You just totally obliterate.
Let me tell you something. Like, even though this team, the '85 Bears, was completely one-sided, the sheer dominance of that season.
Yeah, that was just
I have not seen anything like that since.
Yeah, that was
ridiculous. And like you said, I was a kid too, right?
Yeah.
I was small, but still, like, I still have not seen. And then that Super Bowl was, that was a travesty, man. That was bad.
That was
bad.
Yeah.
They were celebrating in the third quarter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But check this out. Check this out. The Eagles were also celebrating in the third quarter. It was 3 minutes left in the game. I mean, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The score was 34-0. The 22 points that Kansas City scored, that was garbage time. The
Right.
first touchdown to Xavier Worthy, where they were like, "Oh my gosh, this you see how Patrick Mahomes just put it in there." Those were backup DBs.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know what they was talking about on the broadcast. Like, oh, he fit this in there. They were backup DBs. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
of course. So
Understood. I get it. I get it.
yeah,
That was a dominant performance. I give you that. But now I'm
but you
just
wouldn't
taking
put
it
that
and I'm
whole
stacking
season
them
in there.
up. I'm stacking them up against those other teams,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't see it.
I think they slightly out, man. I think they slightly out. No bias at all on my part. I think they slightly out of that because it's man. Okay, so let's talk. Let's real quick. Your Rams. You know your Rams, right?
Which one? Which team?
Okay. How long Kurt Warner was there?
Yeah, so 99.
99. So okay, was that the one where y'all beat Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that team, right? I have to say, I don't know y'all exact record. I don't know what y'all record was in that year, but nobody could stop y'all.
Right. Yeah, I
It-
think
it-
what were we?
it's ridiculous.
I can't remember the record either, but we set records
Yeah,
for points scored in the season.
yeah, yeah.
Kurt Warner set records for touchdown thrown that year too. Marshall Faulk was setting records for all-purpose yards. So yeah, it was ridiculous. The league hadn't seen anything like that
No,
at
no.
that point.
Yeah, that was crazy. But like I know with Marshall Faulk and all the offensive weapons that you guys, how was y'all defense?
It
How
was
was
good.
y'all defense? Y'all defense was that's Aeneas Williams was on that team, right? Aeneas.
No, he wasn't on that one.
Okay.
We had Todd Light was the main cornerback on that one, but it was I guess you could call it like a no-name defense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the defense, like by itself, was was really good because one of the other factors in all of this was the fact that even though we was putting up all those points, we were reckless with the ball. Like we were turning the ball over a lot. We had a bunch of fumbles, we had a bunch of interceptions that season because everything was high risk.
Right.
And the defense would always come in. I mean, look at how we won the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
That was crazy.
It was on it was that was the
That
defense,
was a defensive
right?
stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, the defense was good.
Yeah. 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 I think back at that team, and they were definitely because y'all went on a what was your streak during that time? I know it was that year, that 99 year, but y'all had like at least a 4-year run? Was that like a 4-year run where y'all was like kind of there, or was that?
Yeah, it was about a 4 year run. We was there. We won it that year, 99. Then Dick Vermeil retired right after the game, and he did later say
Right.
he regretted doing that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So then Mike Martz came in, and we went back in 2001, and that jump started the Patriots dynasty because the Patriots beat us that year,
Yeah.
thanks to Spygate.
Yeah, yes, Spygate. Yep. They
They
never
cheated. They
never
cheated.
admit to that. Yeah.
When you have the league destroying evidence, they destroyed the tapes that they confiscated from the Patriots. That lets me know that something nefarious was going on. They was doing something that they wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They had footage on, and then you have people like Vrabel and Teddy Bruschi saying, "Well, we still had to go out there and make the plays." But if you know what the play is going to be, it's going to be easier to make the play. What are we talking about? So you know what the play is going to be, and we don't know what the play is going to be, and you still only beat us by 3 points.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine if we also knew what the plays were you were going to be running,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. We still had to go out there and make the plays.
Exactly. Yeah. That was crazy, man.
That's like saying, oh, they gave us the answers to the test, but I had to still go there and take the test.
Exactly. You already got the test.
You got the answers,
You got the answer.
right? You already have the answers.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that, man.
Yeah, that was a serious one. Yeah, that did kick off their dynasty, and I think Tom Brady came in that year for Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and then Tom Brady came in, and then that was
Yep,
that.
that was that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no. So and then after that, that's when we kind of gone down.
yeah, yeah. So I think all of these teams, from what I'm looking at, these dominant teams, they have like a 3-4 year run where they kind of really, really dominant. And so, like you guys did it, Dallas did it, the Steelers did it, for a while. I know we talked about Baltimore Ravens. They did it for 2 or 3 years. I mean, it was,
Yeah,
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 they had that team, but theirs was a little shorter. Um, uh, who else? The 49ers did it.
yeah.
Um,
They did. Denver Broncos went back to back.
Denver Broncos did it. Yep, yep, yep. In most recent times, and then Kansas City picked the New England and Kansas City. And so I think that in defense of Saquon Barkley saying what he said on the podcast, I really think this could be an Eagles run. I think this could be. I think this could be. I think this could be something where this might be like a little. This might be a little 3 year stretch because we got these dudes locked up. We lost 5 guys on defense, but we got these young boys locked up. And before these new contracts come around again, in the next 3 years, these contracts are going to be coming up again. And I think that's when things going to go haywire because how free agency goes. This might be something, man. It's gonna take one of you guys, Rams or Commanders or something like that to sneak in there and kind of take one there here or there. But I think this could be something. This could be something, and it depends on also on Saquon isn't getting any younger. Depends on health. I think
Yeah,
that's really what my big concern is. With Saquon because I think he was the one that really clicked it in, and got us over the hump. And it really depends on him staying healthy. One last thing on this, he said something with OTAs and all that just starting, and we're gonna get into that. But he said usually in his younger days, right after the season over, he was back working, in the gym, boom, 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 going. He said he hadn't done anything.
what?
He said in the last few years, he has kind of throttled down on what he's done because he saw his body couldn't handle it throughout the season and that he was getting injured a lot and kind
That
of
makes
breaking.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
he didn't do anything. Now OTAs are coming up and now he's going to be ramping it back up again. So I was glad to hear that because with the amount of yards, and I don't expect him to have. He's not going to have a 2,000. I mean, he'll break 1,000 easy, but 2,000, I'm not looking for that. So we'll see where this goes. But yeah,
You should have a 1,500 yard season, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that should be the bar.
yeah.
I think that is also smart what he did. Like when you're young, you feel like you're invincible, so you go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
go right back out and you put that body through all of that trauma during the off season. Then by the time the actual season comes around,
Yeah,
you kind of beat up.
you beat up.
Right. And that makes sense now as to why he had those injuries, and it was in his younger years.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you get older, you get smarter, you have,
Mm-hmm.
better strategies in terms of how you're going to handle your body and the type of regimen that you're going to take on. So good for him. So I think it's gonna. I mean, I think he should really look at how Derrick Henry is doing it,
Yeah,
right? Because Derrick Henry seems to have it down to a science,
science, man.
right? Derrick
Yeah.
Henry, even he's curved the way that he's even eating, the type of
Yes.
foods that he's eating and all that stuff. That dude is taking care of his body,
Yeah. But
right?
it's on that point. I don't know why more guys don't do that. Didn't you like I know they're strict with their diets. A lot of guys are strict with their diets and their workouts and stuff like that. But your body is how you get paid.
Yep.
So according to what you were saying and what I've read in the past, Derrick Henry's spending over $200,000 easy
Mhm.
on his body.
Yep.
That is a no-brainer. That is like
That's the investment.
that's you are the investment, right? So, man, that is, and I'm surprised more guys don't do it. I know, like I said, I know they're strict in what they eat and stuff like that, But this dude is fine-tuned.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
fine-tuned.
Yeah. And I think you probably have more players who are doing it than we probably realize. But there's a genetics component to this. Like not
Yeah,
everyone is
that is true.
built like
That is
Derrick
true.
Henry,
That is true. That is
right?
true.
So for
Yeah.
him, putting in that investment, he's gonna, I think, get a higher return on that
Hmm.
investment than most other people will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think someone like Saquon Barkley the same thing. If he goes in and he continues to take care of himself, the only thing is going to be with him, what happens if he loses half a step?
Yeah.
When that happens,
Yeah.
is he able to evolve, right? And find other ways to be as productive or even increase his production? That's going to be the key.
That is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, OTAs, man. I mean, I know OTAs have gotten started. Teams are out there. I am hearing. I know we talked about this before. I
Yeah.
am hearing good things about number 12 in Cleveland. I'm hearing that he is like showing the way, and also he's making dime throws. They say he came out looking really good, really sharp. Like he's like one of the top of the depth chart. Really. Dylan Gabriel was making some throws and stuff too.
Yeah.
However, they said Shador looks real sharp. And then also I saw something today where Joe Flacco was sort of like, they asked him the question about being a mentor, to the young guys and stuff like that. And Joe Flacco was like, it don't matter what I say, because
Yeah.
if I say I'm not a mentor, then you guys gonna demonize me. And then if I say, I want to mentor these, then you're gonna say, oh, well, you mentoring them and not trying to win. So he
Right.
said, no matter what I say, you guys are gonna, spin it a different way. So but what he really said was, he's not a mentor. He's trying to win this. Trying to win this job.
And he should.
Yeah, he's
And
trying
he
to win the
should.
job.
He should. I think, in no uncertain terms, but he's saying, I'm going to be a good teammate.
Yeah,
If they want to, if they have questions, I'll answer the questions. But
right.
it's up to them if they're going to do it or listen to it or not.
Exactly.
Outside of that, he's there to compete.
You gotta
He's there to
compete,
compete,
man.
right?
Yeah,
He's there to
yeah.
try to get the starting position. That's his job. That's his focus. He got a family that he's still, providing for.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a history of success. He's been in the league longer, but the dude's still trying to win. He's still trying to play. So he's not there to just hand over the reins. That dude trying to go out there and earn a starting position so he can play some football.
Absolutely.
So
You can't blame him on that.
yeah, we
That's,
can't
that's
blame him
how it
at
is.
all. Can't
That's
blame
how
him at
it
all.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna. Yeah, he said the right thing.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I heard the same thing. He's throwing good, throwing against air. Yeah,
Not impressed. Not
pat throw.
impressed.
So pat throw.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see when. I
When the
want to
pads
see.
get
I
on
want to see preseason. That's what I want to see.
preseason.
Let's
Yeah.
see preseason. Let's see what happens, because I know that they're definitely going to put him out there and showcase him during the preseason games, and
Mhm.
I think they're going to use that as a determining factor in terms of whether he's going to make the team or not.
Yeah.
And we've said this here, right? He is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. Like, we all
Yeah.
believe that. The
Yeah.
fact that he got drafted after him, there were other situations involved that caused that to happen.
Right.
But it
Right.
has nothing to do with his skill set. We all know he's a better quarterback. So the expectation is for him to beat out Dylan Gabriel
Yeah.
handily.
Yeah.
And the question now is, can he beat Kenny Pickett? Right? But
Yeah.
no, but
I know.
that's a real question.
No, that is a real
That's a
question.
real
That is-
question. Like, can he beat Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
That everybody keep talking. See, and that's the part about all of this links that I think people are not really paying close attention to. They lumping him in with this Dylan Gabriel
Right.
thing.
Right.
And I'm like, this should be a non-starter. This shouldn't even be the topic of discussion.
True. Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
shouldn't, right?
Right. Yeah.
No one talking about him beating Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Yeah. That's true.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and it's up to is really up to Kenny to you take it personal, which he probably is, and you go out there and show them what time it is. I mean, it's up to him to show them what time it is, and really, if you look at it, Kenny Pickett has the most upside to be the starting quarterback. I believe he has the intangibles to be that starting quarterback. I don't think he's going to, not long term, but I think for this season, Kenny Pickett would probably end up being number one. That's just what I'm thinking. And then I think Joe Flacco number two, Shador number three, and then it's going to be kind of mixed up in there.
Yeah, I think it's going to alternate during the course of the season, especially if they're not winning games, and
Right,
it's going to
right.
be musical chairs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I definitely think Kenny Pickett is his job to lose because he has the most. He has, Joe Flacco has the most experience and he's been to the Super Bowl and all that stuff like that. Kenny Pickett is young. He's got an arm. He's been with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the Philadelphia Eagles. Was a number one draft pick, and I think he has something that he could show there in Cleveland. So, that remains to be seen what's going to happen there. Yeah. So, what have you heard coming out of you guys' camp, during OTAs? Any shocking? I know, you had Jalen Ramsey still, on the market. Anything going on there?
yeah. I mean, the grapevine is saying that it's looking as if it's trending that way, where the Rams are gonna get him. Everyone's waiting for June 1st, because I think that's when there's some sort of contract stipulation where if the Dolphins wait until after June 1st to either get rid of him or trade him, then it lessens the impact on their salary cap, right? Some way,
Right.
shape, or form. So they're going to wait for that. And they're saying that the destination of interest from even Jalen's side is to go back to the Rams.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. It'll be good to have him. I think we need someone on that back end, someone of his caliber to help shore that up, because I think our front seven is pretty good with the young talent that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I like our young safety, Cam Kitchens. If we get Jalen, we'll probably actually put him at corner. We'll probably put him at cornerback, because that I think that's the weakest spot on our defense
Yeah.
right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So, if it happens, it happens. But that's what they're saying right now. Outside of that, everything in camp seems to be pretty mellow. They're talking about Devontae Adams. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adam things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In camp, which is good. But yeah, that's really about it.
Yeah, you know what? You mentioned Devontae Adams real quick. I was watching this show. I think this was last year. It's called Receiver on Netflix. And Devontae Adams was. I'm just watching it now,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at Devontae Adams when he was in there with the Raiders,
Mm.
last year. And boy, man, I know they fired Josh McDaniels during the season, but man, the quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
That dude was horrible.
Yeah.
He was straight trash, man. Good grief.
He's our backup, right?
He's your backup now?
Yeah. He was our backup last season.
He
He was
better
our
not get
backup
in the
last season.
game.
I mean, he's a decent quarterback. It's just the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. Yeah,
They didn't have nothing going on, man.
yeah.
He's a system guy.
Yeah.
He's a
That's what I.
system guy. So
Yeah,
you got to put him in a good system, a system that's going to help him to be the best version of himself, and he'll win you games.
yeah.
But if
That.
your system is crap, then
Yeah,
he can't overcome that.
yeah, 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 yeah. That was rough. That was rough. That was rough. So yeah, and I could see that with McVay. Having a system for him. Something happened with Stafford, he could just slide right in there and boom, 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 and just be ready to go. So
Yep. I mean, remember McVay picked up Baker Mayfield in the middle of the week, and he came in and won the game for us.
that is true. That is true. Yeah, that is true. So yeah, definitely. McVay is one of those coaches that he could turn things around in a
Yeah,
play.
man.
Yeah. So one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I think we already beat this up. This is a dead horse right now.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers still, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are still, hanging on to Aaron. I saw Joy Taylor was on there, and Joy Taylor was saying Rodgers just need to hang it up.
Right.
Like what is the point? Like what is the point at this point? OTAs are happening. OTAs are going on, and you still, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are still holding on, or I mean, what is he trying to prove at this point? Don't know. Um, I saw some Pittsburgh Steelers fans because I went digging to see what Pittsburgh Steelers fans were saying. So I was looking at their social media and stuff like that, and I see a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans are saying they don't want that sideshow. They don't want the Aaron Rodgers sideshow.
Right.
But who do they have at quarterback?
Well, I don't think they care this
They don't
season.
care. This
Not
season, I
not
got
this season. I think they've resigned themselves to the fact that they can't keep doing the same thing that they've been doing, right? Winning just enough games to put themselves out of contention of getting a potential franchise quarterback in the draft.
yeah, yeah,
They're gonna tank. I
yeah.
think
Yeah,
this is a sign of, and not like go out there and like lose games, but I think they're not gonna go and put like the best player out there,
right, right.
right? Because I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna look for the next year's draft where I'm predicting a minimum of 6 quarterbacks getting drafted in that first round.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. If
man, I didn't.
Arch Manning comes out too,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it'll
yeah,
probably be 7.
yeah, yeah.
But you got a lot of really good. Those quarterbacks that are coming out next year. You can put these quarterbacks that came out this year to shame.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Some
All
really
right.
good quarterbacks coming out next year.
Okay. So yeah, that
Yep.
definitely.
Hey, and guess who? And guess who else has 2 first round picks next year, looking to stock up to try to get a quarterback? The Browns.
Wow.
See, and that's another thing people don't talk about with the Browns.
Yeah,
They
that is.
looking for next year too.
They looking for next year too.
They
Yeah.
don't care about the season.
Right. Right.
Not with the
Right.
quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
getting one of those quarterbacks next year too.
Yeah. Yeah. So they could easily cut these dudes, and
Easily.
it's
Yeah,
not
they
even
cut
a
their losses. Cut their
right.
losses.
It's not even a big deal.
Nope.
Yeah. So that is true. I didn't even.
They
I
got 2
forgot.
first round picks next year.
Wow.
Rams have 2 first round picks next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that would be ideal for you guys with
Mhm.
Stafford, getting up there in age. Y'all bringing in a quarterback
We
that
need a successor. Yeah, we need
yeah,
someone to
yeah,
come in
somebody
and
to take that over.
take the
Yeah.
reins. But Pittsburgh, they getting them a quarterback next year. They don't care about the season.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Just trot Mason Rudolph out there and just have
Yeah,
you a season, man.
yeah,
Have you a season.
yeah.
Just I think that's at the end of the day, I think that's what's probably gonna happen. They trot Mason Rudolph out there, let him do his thing, and just wherever it happen. Because if you want to tank, put Mason Rudolph in the game. I mean, that's just how it is. If you want to tank, so just put him in there, man. Put him in there.
Well,
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Anything else you had, man? You wanted to throw out there?
no, that ain't nothing else. I just want to make sure we broach that topic with that blasphemous statement from Saquon. I think we're good after that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
what that was. That's
And
crazy.
Saquon we trust, man.
That's crazy,
And
man.
Saquon we
You
trust.
know,
Yeah,
you
Saquon was just a little bit
you
over
mean
that.
it's stay calm, Barkley.
Stay calm, Barkley. Stay calm, Barkley. Stay calm. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think he was just a little bit overzealous on that one. Yeah, I realistically thinking, yeah, that they, I wouldn't. They're not in top five. Not.
No, again, you can make a case for top 10. You can
Yeah,
make a case,
yeah. Top 10, man. Top
but
10 easy.
that's not easily. That's arguable. That's
I'm
arguable.
telling you, man.
It's arguable.
You got to throw them in there based off of the dismantling that they
As
did.
an Eagle fan, you got to, but every other, level-headed, right, down to like realistic person,
Yeah.
you can't just put them in there. You got to make a strong case to put them
Okay.
in.
Okay. I would like to say, and hopefully, if some people could put, I'm gonna clip this. If some people can put in the comments, I want to see in the comments, like, do you believe the Eagles were a top 5 team this last year, winning the Super Bowl in dominance? One of the top 5 teams. I would really like to see what people say in the comments.
I want to hear what the Cowboy fans have to say about that.
So we know what they're gonna say. We know what they're gonna say. Yeah, man. They just need to get Dak straight. One last thing on that.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer came out. They interviewed Schottenheimer, and Schottenheimer said on Dak, he said, what's the word he used? He said he's still in training.
No, he didn't say training. I think he
What did
said
he say? Practice.
he,
What did he say?
he's still not something like he's still growing.
He's still, yeah, he's still.
Yeah, but I know what you said. It's a got the
I
terminology.
can't remember the exact word, but yeah, it seemed like he got this grand, like Dak gotta, you know, learn some scheme that he got. Boy, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
Brian Schottenheimer, because
yeah,
I've been listening to him.
yeah, yeah.
He sounds like a coach.
He said,
You hear how he speaks?
yeah, I heard him.
Like
I
I'm
heard him.
listening to him, I'm like, okay, that's how you be getting these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
he could talk the talk.
He been around his daddy.
Right. Like
Yeah.
he has the coach speak down
Yeah, he
pat.
got it down pat.
He
Yeah.
got it down pat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, okay, that's how he bamboozling these owners and GMs into
Yeah.
getting these positions. Like this
Yeah.
dude he
Mm-hmm.
know how to say the right thing at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. He's never been a head coach,
Okay.
right? It will be interesting to see if his true superpower as a coach is his being able to delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm seeing from him is he seems to be able to speak in a certain way where other people can understand it and then
Right.
act on it. So if he has competent assistants,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and positional coaches that are really good at their job,
Mm-hmm.
he may end up being a really good head coach. Now, I never in my life thought I would say that about Brian Schottenheimer, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just basing it off of the interviews that I've been seeing with him, and I'm like, this dude really sound like he understands what's going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he understands how to. But he's handling the media really good.
Yeah. He definitely
He
doing a
got the
great job.
media in the palm of his hands,
Yeah.
and that's not easy to do. Being the head coach of that team,
Right. Right. Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This may be his thing.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. That being said, too, not saying it's going to be Dallas,
Right.
but I think between Dallas and the Giants, you guys, I think one of them is going to be asleep in the NFC.
You think so? That's gonna be.
Completely under the radar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because right now, everyone got the Commanders and the
Commander.
Eagles up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch out.
Okay. Okay.
Watch out.
This is. Let me tell you, it's right out the gates. Right out the gates, man. Dallas. We're gonna see. We're gonna see first game. So that NFC East is always a battle. Always a knockdown, drag out. You know, every year. So I want to see what they're gonna do. I want to definitely and like you say with Schottenheimer, he may be sort of like a Sirianni type guy, where you got the great coordinators that are there that doing their job, and you just doing your field management, and you're doing your player and personnel kind of guidance and leadership and making those on-field decisions. So I mean, he's been in rooms with his dad for his whole life, and I'm sure he's watched his dad sit in the room when his dad was talking to other coaches, and
Yep.
so he got all of that down packed. So hey, this might be his thing, man. He maybe coordinator wasn't his thing, and this might be his thing. So we'll see.
Yep.
We will see, man.
Yep. But I'll tell you one thing: if Dak doesn't get it together,
Yeah.
Joe Milton, I don't know if you know him,
Yes. I
but
saw.
they picked him up.
Yeah, I saw. And look, I'm more afraid of him than I am of Dak, because he can run. He can get out of the pocket.
He's a
I saw some of the passes he was making, and I was like, okay. I was like, yeah.
70 air yards, 70 yards in the air. That's what he throws the ball 70 yards in the air.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Where was he?
Tennessee. He came
He
from
was
Tennessee.
he was the backup.
No, well, in college he was the Tennessee Vols in college.
Okay.
And then he got drafted last year by the Patriots.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay,
they
had May.
drafted Drake May in the first round, and they drafted him like in the 6th round.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Patriots traded him
Yeah.
because, get this now, Joe Milton let it be known that he wanted to be able to actually compete for the starting position.
Right.
And Vrabel was like, no, we can't have that. So he got rid of him.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but check this out though.
Yeah.
Since when is a coach afraid of a 6th-round quarterback saying that he want to compete for the starting position?
That is true. Never.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, less. Right. Right.
You got your 1st-round quarterback just because
Right.
he say he want to compete. Why you all of a sudden then want to ship him out?
Yeah. He dangerous, man.
Otherwise, other than the fact that you think, okay, the team is gonna see that he's actually a better quarterback than Drake May,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that'll cause some dissension in the team.
And especially
So
they already
right,
invest so much in Drake May,
right,
you know, they got to keep that going. But yeah,
right. People don't. I'm like they didn't talk about that much, but I'm like, there's a reason why they got rid of him because otherwise you want to keep as much talented quarterbacks on your team as possible. You
that
don't
is
just
true.
ship out a six rounder
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
because you want to compete.
Yeah. That's, yeah. I don't want Dak. Dak needs to stay healthy all year. Dak needs to stay healthy because I don't want to see him. That he definitely he looks dangerous. You know,
Yeah,
he could be another Washington Commanders Jaden Daniels
Daniels.
kind of guy, and we don't need that in the NFC East. We don't need that.
No way.
No, no. We need Russell Wilson, and we need Jameis Winston. You know, we need them to stay. We need them. That's where we need them to be.
Boy, Jameis
Yeah,
Winston. You would love that. You would love seeing Jameis Winston in the
love it,
game.
love it.
Picks upon picks.
We need. Come on, Jameis. Let's go. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, all right, man.
Yep.
A good one. Good one.
Yep. Wrap it
All
up.
right.
All right, man.
All
Later.
right. Later.